من سيليكون فالي بحييكم، وتحديداً من أمام بالو ألتو هيلز جولف أند كونتري كلوب. اليوم بحلقتنا رح نتعرف على شخصية لبنانية لمعت بعالم التكنولوجيا بالولايات المتحدة. خلينا سوا نتعرف عليه عن قريب. قررت أعمل مقابلة مع السيد رائد المرعب لأنه كنت عم بقرأ عنه ولقيت إنه قصة حياته مميزة. ترك لبنان وهو صغير وإجا وأصبح قصة نجاح كبيرة. هلا واحد وقت يفوت عند الضيف ما بيعرف شو بده يستنظر لأنه ما بيعرفوا بعض، بس أول ما تعرفت على سيد رائد حسيت إنه هو قريب وعنده روح النكتة، واستقبلني وهيك حسسني انه انا ببيتي، وحكي كثير عن اولاده قديشهم فخورين انه يكونوا لبنانيه، وهو فخور انه قدر غرز هالروح الوطنيه عندهم.
So when I received the email and then later on the call from Karen requesting the interview, I was a bit surprised and humbled and honored to be considered for sharing my life story with the Lebanese community and what we went through, جيلنا كله, what we went through when we came up to the U.S. and we made such big success. I didn't know what to anticipate. I thought it would be kind of awkward a little bit.
Mr. Raed Murib, thank you for inviting us in Silicon Valley.
Hello, Sahela. Welcome to Silicon Valley.
Thank you. I know that you came to the United States, you were only 17.
Yeah.
And you had nobody but a friend.
Yeah.
Was it hard?
It was very hard. First, it was hard to leave Lebanon at 17. You miss your family, you miss your friend, you miss the food, you miss everything. And you come in here, your English is not as good as well. But I was lucky. I did have a friend. I slept on his couch for almost 6 months.
Until you started working.
You
had 3 jobs?
I had 3 jobs at the same time when I had full-time. My dad, Allah yarhamu, he was helping quite a bit. But you still need to generate money to complete everything else.
Of course. As I know, you were the youngest in the family.
Yes.
And you are originally from Akkar.
Yep.
But you left Tripoli and you decided not to go to the American University of Beirut, but to come to Orange County. Why?
Yeah, so I got acceptance from AUB to be in Bazira. So I did get acceptance from the AUB for major Bazira. But I had my heart set for electronics, which was very early at the time.
I can understand why.
And decided to come to California and attended Cal Poly.
Yeah. Which is in South California.
In Southern California,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And it was a good experience?
Yeah, we had some support system because for some reason in 78, 79, we had a group of Lebanese students that came in. There was 20, 25 of us.
Okay, and you knew each other?
We didn't, we met over there.
You met here in
we met
California.
At the college, and we used to have what we call in the cafeteria the Lebanese table.
Okay.
So there was 20, 25 of us. They're all very successful.
Very loud.
Very loud, very friendly too, and a lot of fun. We still keep in touch. They're all very successful, both here and in Lebanon.
Yes.
And
you're still in contact with them?
And we're still in contact with them. In fact, we just started a new group. We called it Cal Poly 1980s Lebanese Students. and they send
And
jokes.
you're
back and forth.
active, and
Yes.
you see each other maybe twice a year. No,
We don't.
not
Yeah,
even.
we want to do a reunion, but we have not done
Not
that
yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. Okay, so you started working while you were at the university
Yeah.
until you graduated.
Yeah.
Then I'm sure you enrolled in a company, and you had also jobs in international companies like Thomson.
Yeah. So when I graduated in '82, I started as what they call double E, electronics engineer, and I started designing computers way back then. Like Steve Jobs was designing personal computers, I was designing industrial computers for different type of jobs. And then I got bored with engineering.
You wanted something else?
I wanted something more people-facing.
I understand. Not machine-facing.
Right. So I moved over to sales and joined a company out of France called Thomson.
Yeah.
And I was at Thomson, and then I moved after that to a company called NEC Electronics out of Japan, also in the sales side.
In the sales side.
Yeah.
Though you had also passion towards technology.
Yeah, because it's a good combination
I
to have
understand.
the business side, and that's in your
Of
blood as
course,
Lebanese.
to create something, but also to be able to sell it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Was it an easy path, or when you look back, you think, no, well, I worked hard and it was painful?
actually, for me, it came easy. It was natural for me. This transition from the technology side to the business side, I liked it a lot, so it was pretty easy for me.
And maybe you noticed that you were talented too, no?
I think that comes from where you're born.
From the Phoenicians?
From the Phoenicians.
We are all traders.
Yeah, we always want to make deals and trade, and so it was in our blood, actually. Yeah,
Yes.
it worked very well.
And like all Lebanese, you didn't like to stay an employee. You wanted to open your own company. That's what you did
Yes.
in 1989 when you started Unitech.
We started Unitech in 1989 after I got my MBA from school. And we started in Orange County, which is in Southern California.
Yeah.
Then we took over LA, and then we took over San Diego, and then we expanded to Northern California, and then after that we expanded to Phoenix.
And you were specialized in trade and marketing.
In sales and marketing of electronics components, as kind of a technology cell, and I did that for 9 years. Went very well. It was very successful.
Of course, because you spread it out
Yep.
in all California.
Yep.
And you had Lebanese employees with you?
At the time, no. I was the only Lebanese.
You were the only one.
Yes.
You didn't think about retiring?
Sold for $2.5 billion, and it was a very successful.
Today, when you look back at your career, is there anything you regret?
98% fail after the 7th year.
So it's very challenging for a startup to really be amongst the most successful.
We always welcome young generations coming in. We'd love to help.
I know that you have a great achievement in your career, which is selling your second company
Yeah, so
at a very
yeah, we had so after Unitech, I sold Unitech to my partners in 1999, and then I joined a company called PMC.
PMC,
It was
which is an international company.
It's an international company. It's a Canadian-U.S. company, and I held various executive positions with PMC. And so I was with them 16 years.
What was your position?
So I was the executive VP of mergers and acquisitions. I was also the general manager, and I was also VP worldwide sales. So I held many different executive positions.
Yeah.
But in January of 2016, we sold the company. It was a very successful exit for us.
You had the opportunity to sell it.
Yes.
How it happened?
We were approached by a company.
Okay, a bigger company.
Yeah, because it was a public company.
I understand.
So
anybody can come and approach.
Yeah, if you're a public company, anybody can approach you and make a bid.
I understand.
And somebody did make a bid, and then 5 others made bids as well. And then they started fighting over the company in public. And the more they fight, the more the price went up. So we had again, very successful exit. We made a lot of shareholders and a lot of investors very happy.
And you were happy?
And I was very happy.
Can I ask you for some figures?
So
you sold it at...
it's public information. The company was sold...
But for the viewers to
The
know.
company was sold for $2.5 billion, and it was a very successful
And you had partners?
Well, this is a public company, so we had 1,200 employees at the time. Yeah, so whenever you're public, your الأسهم تبعونك, they're sold in the public.
I understand.
Yeah.
You didn't think about retiring
I
then?
I did right away.
With all this money?
Yeah, right away.
I will go enjoy my life.
Yeah, so I did actually retire and announce my retirement. And
but you couldn't.
I started doing yoga. And I did indoor cycles. And I did a lot of golf. But 6 months afterward, I got so bored. So, and that's when I joined Shoof Technologies.
Yeah.
As a CEO. There was 2...
You were not the one who established Shoof?
No, there were 2 very, very smart engineers with very valuable technology.
They are from Lebanese origins?
They're American.
They're American?
Yeah.
But why did they call it Shoof, which was meaning look?
So when I met them, they already picked the name, and this is what I asked them, like why did you call it Shoof? But
it was not related to the Arabic language?
It was. One of them likes Arabic language, and this is where he came out with it, yes. So,
beautiful.
Yeah, so
and then
I felt close to it right away.
And so you joined them in 2015?
I joined them in 2016 in November.
Okay, so nearly a year ago.
Yeah. A year ago, as a CEO of the company.
As a CEO.
And now we're up to 10, so we hired more people, obviously.
And you are all engineers?
We're all engineers, yes.
What is the scope of your work?
So we're developing a wireless technology. This wireless technology, it connects assets. Assets meaning if you want to bring something online and connect it to the internet, right? You need connectivity, and that's the technology that we developed. It's very disruptive technology. Right now, they do it by the cellular phone, and now we're doing it totally different.
How?
So we do it with almost like the Wi-Fi you have at home.
Yes.
But Wi-Fi عندك بالبيت بيوصل من الصالون لأوضة النوم.
Yes, maximum.
نحن we go from here to 2 kilometers.
I understand.
So the distance is very large.
I understand.
And then we support.
And it's working here in
it's
Silicon
working
Valley.
here, yeah. So we're early stage.
Yes, I know that you are one of the most successful early stage startups.
We raised money, what they call it angel money. We raised angel money and we were oversubscribed. And now we are raising equity money. And we're oversubscribed again, which is whenever you're oversubscribed, that means people believe in you and they want to invest in you. And we're executing very well, so I'm very happy about that.
So it's very challenging for a startup to really be amongst the most successful, because in Silicon Valley, every day maybe you have more than hundreds of startups.
It is. Silicon Valley is all about startups. And there's actually thousands of startups. And believe it or not, only 96% of the startup within the first 5 years fail. 98% fail after the 7th year. So there's only 2% of the startup actually make it.
Oh my God. 98% of the startups fail before 7 years.
Before 7 years.
So for a startup to be really a success, it should
needs to last.
Extend to 8, 9, 10 years.
Exactly. And at that time, they either go IPO and they become public companies, or they get bought by another company, by a bigger company.
But if they're both, this is also a kind of success.
Oh, this is huge.
This is huge.
Yeah. So
and I think, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong. They are really excited to start a startup, because if they don't extend the 7 years, their hope is to be bought by a bigger company.
Exactly. Right now, we hope to do the same thing in Lebanon. Actually, this is, my goal.
Yeah, this is my question. Are you doing any business with Lebanon, knowing that a lot of startups, of Lebanese startups, are coming to Silicon Valley, and you are really supporting them because you are a member of LabNet, and you used to be member of the board. Yeah,
so with LabNet, we go out of our way to help Lebanese CEOs and Lebanese startups, to mentor them, to handhold them in terms of identifying the right market, to connect them here locally with bigger companies so they can sell their products in there. Mm-hmm. So, our goal is to increase the startup ecosystem in Lebanon. Because if you look at the startup right now, this is even more valuable than oil, more valuable than gas. If the Lebanese government is able to nurture the startup ecosystem, for the economy of Lebanon, for the youth that are graduating, this is huge in terms of finding them jobs, in terms of innovation.
Because we have really a precious treasure, which are our new generation. They are all well educated, talented, very smart.
Yeah.
And if you invest in them, you can really help the economy of Lebanon be better. Or no?
It's definitely a missed opportunity. I mean, we have to focus on growing the startup ecosystem, especially now that more and more of the product are software. So you really don't have any physical things that you're bringing in and out of the country.
It's an idea that you are developing on a computer.
Exactly.
That can change the world.
That can change the world. That could, employ many youth that as they graduate, there should be no reason for them to leave. They could stay in Lebanon and get jobs.
When you have startups coming from Lebanon and you are supporting them, are they staying here, or are they coming back to Lebanon?
They're definitely going back to Lebanon.
So they come just for experience?
For experience, as well as they come to connect with other companies.
I understand.
They come so we can introduce them to different customers that they might want to use.
How much do you welcome per year? I mean, Lebanese startups from Lebanon.
Yeah, so LabNet is pretty active. We normally hold once a quarter, we hold an event. And normally we would have startups that come in and present their product and present their ideas. And so it's pretty active. Plus, even in between, we do quite a bit of conference calls that are mentoring as well.
So your support is over the year?
Yes.
Online?
Yep.
Today in Silicon Valley, which is the hub of all startups, do you find a lot of successful Lebanese startups exceeding the 7 years?
It's spotty. It's here and there. Not many, and there's one that was bought by Google for $500 million. That was a while back.
Yes. And what was his name?
Ghassan, I can't remember his last name.
Yes.
Yeah. And there was another one that was also bought by Google.
Today, when you look back at your career, is there anything you regret?
Probably not starting my company earlier than I did. That's the only thing, actually. I like running my own show. I like...
So you feel that you were late to do it in 1989?
Yeah, but at the time when you're here in the U.S., right, and you don't have immediate family next to you. So it's very hard to graduate and right away you start a business because you feel vulnerable. So you want to save some money and gain experience and then do it. Yeah. But I would have wished that I started it earlier.
Yes. Do you visit Lebanon often?
I do. In fact, I try to go once a year. Yeah, and I'm going to be there in a couple of weeks as well.
And when you go to Lebanon, is it only to see the family, or are you investing in any of
mainly
your
to
business?
visit the family and to go to the beach. I do sometimes give some lectures to some entrepreneurs through some VCs in Lebanon. But I try to limit that to maybe 1 day or 2 days only during the trip.
And you never thought about starting a business in Lebanon with the young generation?
We could actually. We thought about it quite a bit. You know, the ecosystem, the infrastructure needs to get a little bit better, as well as the ecosystem of existing companies that are generating skilled laborers. But you really need skilled laborers in order to develop and grow a company in Lebanon.
Of course.
Yes.
And we have it.
We
skilled labor, we do have it.
Now definitely we do, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
but it's only the infrastructure that is missing.
Yes, yes. And again, the Lebanese government really need to nurture this startup ecosystem. And there's many ways for them to do it in a way where companies don't have to leave. Even when they get acquired, there's ways where companies actually move into Lebanon if they acquire a smaller company rather than the small company leaving with the big company. So Lebanese government has to be very smart on how they structure the helping that startup ecosystem.
I understand. Today, if you have, and I'm sure you have all Lebanese watching you, and especially the new generation, because they are really interested in Silicon Valley, in technology, in how a Lebanese who left at 17 years old is today a very successful story. What would you advise them?
I would say don't lose hope, have a lot of ambition, utilize the network, utilize LebNet. We always welcome young generations coming in. We'd love to help. We have over 300, 350 members. They're all high-tech executives that could help tremendously.
And how can they reach you?
They can reach us on LinkedIn is the best place to reach us. I'm on LinkedIn, LebNet is on LinkedIn. Majority of the LebNet members are on LinkedIn. It's the best place to send us a note and say what they're interested in, how we can help them out.
I'm happy that through my show, Asmaa min Tarikh, we are trying to help these Lebanese in Lebanon, those who don't know you, those who are dreaming of coming and may have a training here at Silicon Valley. So you can go through LinkedIn, LebNet, or Mr. Raed and Murib.
It's our way of giving back. We were very lucky to be where we are, and this is one way of giving back.
Beautiful.
Yeah. She's a wonderful woman. She's the strength behind all of my work.
So Raed is, he's very romantic and he's very kind.
Having a strong family ties, I think it runs in our blood as Lebanese.
When I go back and visit Lebanon, I find it it's a very sentimental feeling.
How did you raise your children knowing that Kim is not Lebanese? I know that you have left Lebanon. You were only 17 years old. You left Tripoli.
Yeah, in 1978.
In 1978. But I am sure that before that you had a beautiful childhood.
I did. I had an awesome childhood. We used to spend most of the winter in Tripoli. And then in the summer, we'd go up to the mountain in a car. Yeah. And I had a very loving family, a very large family. I'm the youngest, so I was spoiled.
You were spoiled?
Very much so.
You are 8 children?
Yes. And my mom is very loving. My dad is also very loving and is very nurturing. Very nurturing.
I know that you go to Lebanon often to visit your mom.
Yes, in fact,
to give her some quality time, which is very important.
Yes, so I go by myself once, and then I go with the family another time. So this way I'm not shorting anybody. Yeah,
and I know that your dad used to work, he had a farm.
Yeah.
And that's why maybe you didn't you said that you had a passion towards technology and not towards agriculture.
Yes, yes. So my dad always told us that by the time the last of us graduates, he would have sold all the farms. But come to find out, by the time I graduated, he has not sold anything. So he prepped us mentally that, you know, don't count on the farm. So when I got accepted to AUB for Zira'a, my passion was technology.
Yeah, and that's why you came here.
Exactly.
What are the best memories you have from Lebanon when you were still a child?
Best memory is when I used to go hunting when I was 8 or 9 years old, and I used to take the old, you know, hunting rifle,
Yes.
the one that you put the powder in and all of that. And my first pet was a donkey. Believe
For
it or
a
not.
change.
So I had a, you know, in Akkar, I had a beautiful, beautiful time in Akkar.
Yeah,
Yes.
and in Akkar you have the beautiful nature that we can see here in San Francisco. It's amazing, isn't
Yes.
it? And you met your lovely wife, Kim, in 1987 when you were
Yep.
still in Orange
In Southern
County.
California.
Yeah.
Yep.
How did you meet?
So we met at work.
You met at work.
Yes, we were working together in the same office, and we started dating. She's a wonderful woman. She's the strength behind all of my work.
Oh, beautiful.
Very supportive.
I know that she was behind you also and supporting you when you founded your first company, isn't it?
Yes, yes, and so she's the one who encouraged me, actually. Yeah, so she was a great support system. It was a great support system. But coming into the U.S., you know, I always felt that Lebanon to me is like a father, where it gave me the ethics and the morals and the bases and the will to succeed. And I felt like the U.S. is like a mother to me, where they welcomed me with open arms. They took me in, they nurtured me, they helped me, they enabled me to succeed.
Of course,
so I
they
am
gave you all
proud,
opportunities.
very,
possible.
very proud of being a Lebanese American.
Yeah.
You know, you'll find that American people are very generous, they're very helpful, and they love different cultures. It's a melting pot in here.
Indeed. Do you know how many nationalities you have in the United States?
In the U.S., you know, there's pretty much majority of the world exists in the U.S. You have, from every country, you have a little section of that country that lives in the U.S.
And the Lebanese diaspora is...
You know, something interesting about the Lebanese is that they spread out.
Indeed.
They don't, you know, you don't have like little Lebanon. You have little Tokyo and, you know, little Vietnam like Saigon, but Lebanese, they blend in.
They blend
in very, very well.
That's why they have always American friends.
Yes.
Because they got used to...
It's very natural for them.
It's natural
very
for them to live with the same culture.
And that's probably why they're so successful, because they blend in very well, and people love them and they want them to succeed.
So I met Raed in 1987. Well, how did I meet him? I came in for an interview for a job, and he was there, and he basically told my boss to hire me. But he wasn't my boss yet, but yeah, he told him to hire me. And so that's how we met in 1987. I think the month was February. And when we started dating, maybe in July of 1987, we didn't want the workplace to know that we were dating, and so we kept it quiet, and finally I left work in 1990, and so then our relationship became public. We actually got married in 1991 because, but we didn't have a wedding. We just went down to the courthouse and got a marriage certificate, and we actually had a huge wedding celebration in 1994 where his parents came over from Lebanon, and that was the first time I met his parents. So they were very, very nice to me, and I was very happy because I wasn't sure how the meeting would go. And apparently Raed must have told nice things about me to his parents, so they were very happy, and I was very happy about the meetings. And in 1995, we gave birth to our daughter, Camille, and we took her to Lebanon for the first time, and my first time in 1996, and we had a wonderful, wonderful time. Met the whole family. His sisters were very welcoming. His mother was just amazing, and his father, like a typical father, he worked all day. He came home and had dinner with us and took us to the farm because they lived, Raed was born in Akkar, so we went to Akkar and checked out all the orchards and see how hard his father worked all day. But it was a very, very fun time in Lebanon, and that time it was different when I went to Lebanon in 1996 compared to last year when I went again. And since then we had 2 more kids. We have a boy named Sean, and he is 20 now, and Julian is 17, and we just finally dropped him off to college this last weekend. So in America, I guess we call them empty nesters. So we are empty nesters. So we get to do more things for ourselves, because the last 22 years we've been very busy with our children and very involved in their lives, in sports, in music, in their education. So now we have more time for ourselves now. So Raed, he's a really, really funny guy, and that's how I think I was very attracted to him. So Raed is, he's very romantic and he's very kind, and a lot of times when his jokes, I just burst out laughing because it's just so unexpected. And he's a very good father to our children. He always tells them stories that were not true stories, and so when they become understanding the stories, they're gonna go, "Dad, you just told us wrong stories," because they would go to school telling these kids about what Dad just told them, and it was completely wrong. And but he doesn't care. He just thinks it's really funny. He's always telling the kids about, when I was 17, I came to the U.S. with very little money, with no English. And so he keeps telling that story and how he was able to survive with very little money. And he wants the kids to understand that, and so that they won't ask him because they think he's a bank.
You got married in 1994
Yep.
with Kim, and you have 3 children.
We have 3 kids.
I met Camille.
Yep.
She's a beautiful lady.
Thank you.
Now she's working.
She's graduated and she's working at a storage company.
In communication. She
Yep.
told me she specialized in communication. And you have Sean.
I have Sean, who's
in
a
LA.
3rd year college, yes.
And the
Julian.
youngest, Julian. And they live
in the dorm.
in the dorms.
Yeah,
And you
at
say
the
that
school.
you can feel emptiness.
It is, because now, we're empty nesters. There's only Kim and I. So now we have to get to know each other again.
Fall in love again.
After 22 years, yes. Yeah.
How did you raise your children knowing that Kim is not Lebanese?
Yeah, we raised the kids to be open-minded. We raised them, on how to be ethical, how to have very good morals, and how to have strong roots. Because if you don't have strong roots, every little problem that you run into, almost like the tree, you will fall. Right?
Indeed, so you have to have good roots,
yes.
a good base.
Yes, they always make fun of me because I refer to Lebanon and everything. Like, oh, that's Lebanese, oh, that's Lebanese.
But you told me something that they are very proud to be Lebanese.
They're very, very proud of being Lebanese.
So every time there is something about Lebanon or about Lebanese,
they text me and they tell me about it, and they send me pictures, or I just met a Lebanese, and so they're very passionate about Lebanon.
Did you try to raise in them the same values you got from your parents?
I did.
Though you
I
are in a
did.
totally different
Yes, because
culture.
when you're coming in, when you're in the U.S., right? There's many different cultures, and you do want to instill in your kids the culture that you grew up with. And luckily, you know, Kim and I, we come almost from the same background because, you know, she's Vietnamese American, and she came here because of the Vietnamese Civil War.
Yeah, so
I came here
same
because of the
story.
Lebanese Civil War.
Yeah.
They have very strong family ties in Vietnam. So
you can find similarities.
We have very common things with.
So she has the same attitude towards the children than you have.
Exactly, and she's a little bit more strict than I am. I'm a little bit more easy.
Okay. It's purely Lebanese with the fathers. They always let it go, and the mother, no.
Yeah, exactly.
How important is family to you?
Very important. You know, having a strong family ties, I think it runs in our blood as Lebanese. You know, you always want to take care of family. And, you know, one thing that I always did, no matter how busy I am, I always tried to make it back in time for dinner. I always, ever since they were babies, always wanted to, no matter how important
time
things.
for them.
Exactly. Because when you show up at dinner, right, and you're sitting down at the
you
table.
You can listen to them, what they did all day long,
exactly.
and give them advice.
And they talk more.
So your priorities in life, if I say work, family, or yourself?
Family.
Beautiful.
My dad has always been a very big supporter of me and always kind of helping me guide through the problems of growing up. He's always there to tell me the stories of how he's gone through his tough times and kind of helped put it into perspective of something that I could take forward with me. I've always looked up to him just because he came from a country that is so far away from the United States, and he's made it this far in his life and being so successful. It's a very inspiring time, and it's just inspiring to hear stories of how he came to the United States without knowing anyone at the age of 17 and made it this far of a successful life. And I've always just tried to live up to his expectations and his dreams for me to also be successful in my own life. Something that I do admire about my dad is how funny he is, and a lot of the times he tries to make jokes out of different situations to make this problem or what I'm going through a lot easier, and a lot of it does come from his times being in Lebanon, like when he was younger. And my favorite story is when he's younger and his mom, my teta, put him in a all-girls school just because it was convenient, and they pretended to the nuns that they didn't know that he was a girl. I mean, that he was a boy. And so he would just wear the skirt and the uniform and go around, but at the age of like 5, they kind of figured out that he was not a girl, so they had to pull him out of the school. But that's a funny story. And the other funny story that I find very admirable is when he didn't have any money in his bank account, that he went to a restaurant that was looking for a dishwasher, and he was really hungry, so he went ahead and said, okay, I'll be your dishwasher for today. And at the end of the day, when he was really hungry, he ate because they were giving him the food, and then after that, they're like, okay, well, we need you to go back into the kitchen and do more dishes. He goes, what? No. You take my time as the dishwasher, and that'll be the pay for my dinner. So I thought that was a really funny story, but very admirable, because it just shows what he would do to get what he needs in order to move on with his daily life. I think since I am half Vietnamese, half Lebanese, I try to associate more with Lebanese, since if you look at me, I'm not necessarily looking Lebanese, but I'm very proud to be. And I think that's because my father has instilled that pride by no matter what, oh, you know who invented math? The Phoenicians. You know who the Phoenicians are? They're Lebanese. Or anything, he goes, oh, he's Lebanese. Lebanese are all over the world. And so I think by him always constantly communicating about Lebanese history, and how it's so important to be proud of where you come from, it's something that I've taken with me. And when I go back and visit Lebanon, I find it it's a very sentimental feeling, because I'm there with all the history and the history of my dad's family.
Where is the money? Why you didn't invest in Lebanon?
I would ask him, what is the best way to give back to Lebanon?
So you are willing to help them? we noticed that you came at 17 years old. You had some hard time, you worked a lot, but then you started your own, later on, your own business. How was it possible to do that? How did you gain some money so you could invest? Somebody helped you?
Yeah, so actually I saved money.
You saved?
I saved money while I was working.
Nobody helped you, nobody supported you, nobody gave you money?
Yeah, no, it was my own money. Through the salary. Through the salary.
Yeah. Why, you had a good salary?
Yeah, at that time, yes, I was a sales manager, and I was a successful sales manager. So.
And you were not married yet?
So you could 1989, not yet.
Not yet, so that's why you could keep aside some.
Yeah.
You said that you sold PMC for $2.5 billion.
Yes.
Where did you invest? Where is the money? Why you didn't invest in Lebanon?
You know, when you work so hard for 16 years with a company, what you hope to accomplish is a legacy. And that's really why I feel it was a huge legacy, is when you build a company and you're able to exit successfully. So that's really what I got back, is the legacy of it.
Of the legacy, but I mean, you got a lot of money, you deserve it, of course, you earned it, but where did you help somebody? Did you invest in Lebanon? Did you invest in startups? I mean, where
I am investing in the next startup, yes.
You are investing?
With Shoof Technology.
With Shoof Technology. It's one of your investments?
No, the one that I'm in.
The one
right
that you're in.
Yeah.
I know two young Lebanese who are in Beirut, but financially they cannot come to Silicon Valley. They have great innovative ideas. Are you willing to take care?
If, we have what we call angel investing.
Yes.
And I do angel investing in companies.
And what's angel investing?
Normally it's about 50 to 100K when you invest in a startup company.
So you are willing to help them?
If the idea is a good idea, and if they are very committed, I would need to talk to them. I would need to evaluate it and make sure
But you do it.
Yes.
I'm sure when you evaluate them, they will be.
Yeah. I look forward to talking to them.
I'm happy to help them.
Yes.
Through you.
Yes.
I
look forward to talking to them.
Thank you.
Yes.
I need you to ask a question to my next guest. You won't know who is it, but he is, of course, a success Lebanese story in San Francisco or Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
What would you like to ask him?
I would ask him, what is the best way to give back to Lebanon? I mean, we all love Lebanon. It's in our blood. What's the best way to give back to Lebanon? I'm sure it's not money. I think you need to grow startup companies. You need to grow in technology. And with LebNet, we're trying our best to deliver as much as we can. We just want to know, are we missing anything?
Mr. Raed Murib, CEO of Shoof Technology, thank you for your time. Thank you for receiving us here in Silicon Valley. We really enjoyed the discussion, and we will be following up.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, Karen. I'm happy to find out through this process that Karen had this combo talent, I call it, which is a very professional yet personable. It's a very rare combination to have in a person. So connected very well, and I was very happy and feeling at ease in terms of sharing the different parts of my life. Bil-hijra, like they say. So, as this interview comes to an end, I just want to let the youth of Lebanon, those that are graduating from different universities and those that are graduating from high schools and are looking for different challenge in their life, don't let anything stop you. Keep the hopes up you could stay in Lebanon and you could become very successful, or you could leave and become very successful. It's the drive to success that is in our blood. It's the drive for recognition. Plus, it's the Lebanese culture, where we have such expectation of our kids that we give it to them from the minute they're born. And what that turns them into, it turns them into success, because they never want to disappoint. They never want to disappoint. And what I hope that they will remember is that they will remember Lebanon when they are becoming successful, and then they go back and invest in Lebanon and invest in the infrastructure and bring some startups and some technology to Lebanon as well, and grow the jobs and grow the economy. There's no reason whatsoever for Lebanon not to have a vibrant economy. We have the brain power, we have the energy, we have the languages, we have the culture. So best of luck to everyone, and look forward to having some of you visiting and seeing how we do it here in the U.S. and Silicon Valley as well.
استمتعت كثير بوقتي بالمقابلة، وتعلمت كثير من السيد رائد مراد، لأنه الإنسان لما يكون عنده طموح، لما يكون يعني بيشتغل وبيآمن بالعمل اللي بيعمله، عنده شغف. حبيته قد من قال لي إنه ما حب يعني يدخل الجامعة الأمريكية لأنه ما كان بده يعمل agriculture، بده يروح يفوت بعالم التكنولوجيا. كان عمره بس 17 سنة وإجا على سيليكون فالي وقدر يثبت حاله، واليوم عم بيساعد غيره، يعني لأنه بيعرف قيمة هالأمور. هذا كتير أثر فيي، وبعرف إنه هو اليوم مثال للجيل الجديد، وعم بيحط إيده بإيد الجيل الجديد، وهذا اللي بدنا إياه. نحن بدنا إنه مغترب اللبناني يعمر هالجسر ما بينه وبين لبنان، ويقدر يساهم باقتصاده. تعرفنا بهالحلقة على السيد رائد مراد، اللي هو أيضاً عنده أسهم بالبالو ألتو هيلز جولف أند كونتري كلاب اللي نحن فيه اليوم. وليه حابة شارككم بمعلومات عن الجولف كلاب؟ لأنه مثل ما بنعرف بالعالم في أكثر من 54,000 جولف كلابز، و45% منهم بالولايات المتحدة. هاللعبة مهمة كتير عند الأمريكان، عندهم شغف لها، لأنه هي أكثر من رياضة، هي كمان نقطة لقاء لكل المجتمع المخمل بالولايات المتحدة، وهي أصلاً رياضة راقية. أغلبية رؤساء جمهورية الولايات المتحدة عندهم هوس هاللعبة، لعبة الجولف، وبياخدوا سنوياً فرصة وبيسافروا تيقضوا وقت بجولف ريزورت ويلعبوا ويرتاحوا وينبسطوا بهاللعبة. الماسترز تورنمنت المعروفة بالU.S. تورنمنت هي من أهم 4 مباريات جولف عالمياً، وبتصير بنيسان بالولايات المتحدة. بيتجه إليها كثير من المشاركين لأنه عندهم هالشغف، ولكن أيضاً لأنه الجائزة الأولى بتتعدى ل 11 مليون، وهي بلشت بال 1934 إلى 81 سنة، والسنة اللي ربحها هو سيرجيو غارسيا. أسس بالو ألتو هيلز جولف أند كونتري كلاب سنة 1958، لكن افتتح سنة 1960. وهالكلاب بيستقطب مش بس لاعبين الجولف، لكن عيالهم وأصحابهم مثل كل الجولف كلابز بالعالم، لأنه النشاطات كتير كبيرة، نشاطات ترفيهية، ثقافية، اجتماعية. بس لسوء الحظ اليوم الولايات المتحدة عم بتلاقي مشكلة كبيرة، لأنه ما بقى في اهتمام لهاللعبة الجولف من الجيل الجديد. الجيل القديم كان يتعود يقعد 4-5 ساعات على هاللعبة، ولكن الجيل الجديد هو بعصر السرعة، ما بيتحمل يقعد بزيت المحل فترة طويلة من الوقت. هالمشكلة أدت إلى تسكير عدد كبير من الجولف كلوبز بالولايات المتحدة. تعرفنا الليلة بحلقتنا على شخصية لبنانية تركت بصمة بالمجتمع الأمريكي، السيد رائد المرعب، اللي بنجاحه ما نسي يمد إيده لنجاح الآخرين. إذا بدكم تعرفوا أكثر عن هالحلقة أو عن السيد رائد المرعب، ما تنسوا تتابعونا على مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي. وما تنسوا تتابعونا الأسبوع القادم بنفس الوقت لتكتشفوا اسم جديد من أسماء من التاريخ.